So for today's session we are going to talk about eyes, and here's the lovely Angus. Angus, there we go. Angie, what's this? There we go, and you can see his eyes there, aren't they lovely? Nice big wide round eyes, lovely. So we're just going to give him a little snuffle exercise there. So dogs' eyes come in all different shapes and sizes. Some of the most obvious differences you'll see are from the dogs like pugs and French bulldogs and bulldogs. Particularly pugs, they have quite what we call prominent eyes, or they stick out a lot. So there's lots of different types of, or certainly shapes and sizes of dogs' eyes, but they all do the same sort of job. So eyes for dogs. Dogs' vision is not as important to them or critical to them as it is to us. So it's not their primary sensory organ. It's not their preferred option for understanding what's going on around them in the world. That's the nose, of course. However, for us, for humans, sight, or our eyes, are very, very important. That's how we see the world. That's how we interpret what's going on around us. And but dogs do have good vision still. But one thing we mustn't do is compare a dog's vision to ours, because obviously our vision is our primary sensory organ. However, for dogs it isn't. So it'd be a little unfair to say, well, a dog's vision isn't as good as ours, or it's better than ours in certain light and all those sorts of things. So we have to look at the whole animal. So we look at the whole dog rather than just comparing one eye or one part of the dog, that's just the eyes. So okay, so have a think about the colour. Lots of people have lots of ideas about what colours dogs see, and what, some people say they're colour blind and it's in black and white. But actually, in fact, we believe that dogs see a saturation of colours such as yellow, blues and greys, or shades of yellow, blue and grey. So think about all those toys that we buy from the dog stores. Hello, mate. So think about all those toys that we buy that are reds and yellow and all those sort of bright colours. Well, actually, it doesn't really mean much to the dog because they don't see those colours. However, it does mean something to us because our eyes are our primary sensory organ. We see these colours and we find them attractive. Hence, that's why we buy these items. Dogs, it doesn't really matter, because at the end of the day, most of these exercises or these items that you buy for the dog, they're going to be using their noses to use those. So, okay. So we've talked a little bit about the colours that dogs see. We've talked about the different types of eyes that they have. We've also mentioned that eyes aren't the primary sensory organ for dogs, so it's not the first thing they use to interpret what's going on around them. They will use their eyes, of course, in conjunction with the nose, their ears, very much like humans do, very much like we do. And you can see here, Angus, he's got his nose in the treat bag. Angie, that's a beautiful, look at those eyes, they're absolutely beautiful. And looking into the eyes, of course, you can see lots of emotions. So Angus is looking very happy and content here, looking very, very happy indeed. So here we go. So he's very relaxed at the moment. He's taking these treats nicely. So look at those beautiful eyes. Eyes come in all different colours, and you may also see dogs with different colour eyes. You might see one with a blue eye and one with a dark eye, sometimes referred to as a wall eye, but this is nothing unusual, so you may see quite a few of those dogs around. So have a look out when you're next out and about and see what sorts of have a look at the types of dogs that you see, have a look at the types of eyes that they've got, and see if you see any with blue eyes, or one blue eye and different shades of eyes. So that'd be really interesting. So when we talk about, the last thing we're going to talk about is how wide the dog can see. So it's called field of vision. So which means, how far can they see to the side? So if you hold your head in front of you, at what point can you see someone come into the side of you or walking from the side? So for a dog, that part of their vision is very good. They have what we call a wider peripheral vision. So that means they can see much wider than we can, partly due to the fact that their eyes are slightly more not as sort of frontal on the skull as ours are, so they're not as closely set together in the middle of the face. They're a little bit wider set apart. The other important factor in this difference, or certainly the dog's ability to see much wider than ourselves, is think about wild animals, particularly let's think about wild dogs in this case. And if they're lying down or certainly or resting, they need to be able to see, keep an eye on what's going on around them really. So they need to be able to see if things prey are creeping up on them, and those sorts of things. Angie, and that field of vision, that wider field of vision, is going to help these dogs and other animals that have good wide sense of vision. It's going to help them survive. So it's a really good adaptation that they have. We don't need that. We certainly don't need that at the moment. We may have had that millions of years ago to help us survive, but certainly we don't need that at the moment. So dogs have a much wider peripheral vision as they can see things coming through. So dogs can see well at night. Again, there's lots of evidence out there to suggest that they do see a little bit better than us at night. But again, certainly with the work I do, and you can see Angus here, the nose is king for dogs. Okay, so there's a few basic facts about the dog's eyes, a basic introduction to the dog's eyes. As I say, keep an eye out for the types of dogs that you see, the types of eyes that they have, and all the different shapes and sizes. And you just heard there, Angus is using his nose. The eyes are also very important to a kind of gateway to what's going on inside, or the emotions of the dog.